We're in Texas today, and as you may know, everything's bigger in Texas, especially the gear manufacturers. That's why we got invited to the Warm Audio headquarters right here in Austin, Texas. And I'm about to meet with the CEO and founder of Warm Audio, Bryce Young. He's gonna show me around their facilities, where they store all the stuff and what's going on in there. So let's take a look. Bryce,
Good to see you.
Good to see you. Where are we here?
So we are in the lobby of the Warm Audio headquarters.
All right.
And not a whole lot to talk about in the lobby. We do have a dartboard here, which is great. But something that I do like to point out is these acoustic diffusers, absorbers that we put up here.
Oh, yeah.
Which may seem kind of silly doing it in a lobby, but I'm a sound guy, right? So when I was walking through here and it was echoing, I was like, we got to do something.
Yeah, I get it though.
So you'll see that in a lot of the office spaces. We put up absorbers and things just to make things feel a little bit more comfortable.
That's nice. All right, let's see.
Yeah,
let's see
walk
what we
through.
got.
So just a kitchenette area here for the staff to enjoy lunch and breaks and things like that. And then this is actually one of the rooms that I think defines our brand a lot, and it's the quality control room.
So we got only a bunch of people here right now. I wonder how much of the product that you guys are shipping out is being tested.
Believe it or not, it's outside of cables. It's 100%.
100% for every product going out to anywhere in the world.
Anywhere in the world, it all comes here first. We really care about making sure that out of the box experience is good.
Yeah.
And some of the products are tested with computer testing. A lot of them are tested by ear because there's things sometimes that the computers don't pick up that your ears pick up. And so, yeah, we've got 13 stations. Depending on the season, depending on how busy we are, sometimes this is completely full, completely busy.
But I mean, still, you guys have, it seems to me these must be the most efficient workers in the world. If everything that goes out to anywhere is being tested in here.
It's a large, large number of units.
You have to have an efficient way of going about it, I would figure, because it's a lot.
Yeah, you're looking at usually in the realm of 80 to 100,000 units are tested in this room annually. Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
That's a lot.
And yeah, sometimes it's very full. It just depends on the day and the season.
I bet. Yeah. It's kind of surreal to think that because I own a bunch of your stuff, and every single unit that I use has been tested in this room.
Yeah, and there's actually, I'll grab one here. There's a little card that we put in every single box that shows, hey, Pablo.
Yes, I've seen that.
Can we have one of your pogs? We call them pogs because they're circle shaped. But yeah, so there should be this in every box that says this was tested by so-and-so. And
I've had that before, yeah. I've seen that. That is really cool.
Yeah.
So this is where everything's getting tested, and what would be the next step in the chain?
Well, let me show you the warehouse where we store all the equipment that they pull into here. We'll let you in right here.
Oh, it's right here.
Yeah, so this is a fairly small warehouse. It's 9,000 square feet, but it is 35 feet tall to the center pitch, which allows us to fit in quite a lot of pallets.
Yeah.
So we've got enough room for about 550 pallets here. There have been times where it's been completely full during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Right now, I think we're maybe at around 400 pallets of product in here. And as I mentioned when we were talking the other day, we distribute some other brands and things, and we do have another third-party warehouse for those brands. So here's pretty much just Warm Audio product.
I mean, I would figure it feels good to have to be close to the stuff you're shipping out, because you just want to make sure it's all right and it's all packaged nicely and it's all, didn't fall out of the shelf or anything over somewhere on the other side of the world. So it's everything's pretty neatly organized here.
And the little things matter too, right? Are some of the products that, let's say, don't have vacuum tubes in them, the ones that aren't hand wired, is it possible that most of those are manufactured almost perfectly every time? Yeah, but there's some times where, that box has a squished corner, or, the manual is ripped inside. We want to look at that, see it ourselves, and know that whatever's going out the door that customers are seeing is is perfect.
That's real good to know. And also I see, like, as I said, the organization of this place for it being everything warm audio, that's being shipped out to the world. It's extremely efficiently packed. I wonder how many people are working here.
So we have about 40 employees at the company in total. The operations staff is about half of that. So
really?
about 20 people do the warehousing, the shipping, and the testing of the product.
Oh, so it's like a really small team for the scale of how much you guys ship out.
It is, and because they're not actually soldering and building the units, then that saves a lot of time. They're pulling it out of the box, they're plugging it in, making sure it works. It goes back in the box, or it goes to our repair team in this room over here to take a look at it. So yeah, if we were actually starting from scratch, manufacturing every component in there, there's no way we could do the scale with that number.
I would figure, yeah. So about the actual manufacturing process, I know you guys are like sourcing materials from different places, and can you tell me where that happens, how that happens?
Yeah, let me talk about that. And actually, this is probably a good place to stand by while we talk about this. This is where we store a lot of the components that are used to, fix or repair. For example, we've got vacuum tubes here.
Nice.
If somebody, has a tube that goes out, we can ship them a new one quite quickly. Here's a brace to our 44 microphone with the Cinemag transformer on it that's made in Simi Valley, California. Sometimes we'll have somebody, these are such heavy mics, they're 8-pound mics.
I know.
They fall to the ground and, oh no, my mic. And so we've got parts that we can ship them. But your question about manufacturing, I mean, that's what Warm Audio was built on, is we said, hey, why don't we call these boutique component suppliers, tell them we're going to buy lots of product and get the price down, because everybody wants boutique components. Yeah. Everybody in their British style mic pre's wants Carnhill UK transformers. Okay, well, let's work with Carnhill. We want to use them, but let's tell them we're going to do big scale volume and get the price down. So when you manufacture in large quantity, you can really get the price down pretty significantly, because you're saying, hey, making 50 units at a time or 1,000 units at a time, hey, I know you're going to make less per unit, but you're going to make a lot more. And so in some of these cases, we've had to kind of train some of these boutique component suppliers to think like that. And so Cinemag was one of them. I mean, a lot of their customers were ordering 50 or 100 units at a time, and we're saying, well, what if we order 1,000 or 2,000 units at a time? We want the same quality. Can you match that? And so that's very important to us. The recipe that makes up the product, what's inside, and not necessarily where it's assembled. We love to be able to assemble them here, but assembling overseas gives us the ability to get the price way down and still use all the great components that make everything sound good.
And so that's kind of something that's like really special to you guys, is that you're, I don't want to say the only ones, but maybe you are the only ones doing it that special way. Because I've realized that there's a lot of like boutique stuff, and you guys seem to really like care about that part of it, rather than just getting it done cheap and out the door. But you're still managing like to make it affordable enough for your average musician, producer, whatever, to be able to afford it, and not just the pros, as the rest of the boutique stuff.
Yeah, there are a few components in any analog circuit that make a big difference.
Yeah.
And in products that have signal transformers, the transformer is probably, or the transformers, is probably the number one set of components to worry about. Yeah. In tube products, the tubes matter. I mean, we've got different brands here, Tungsol, Russia. We've got, Tungsol is actually one of my favorite, JJ, which is made in the Slovak Republic. Got Electro Harmonics here. If we didn't care about the sound, we would just say, oh, we're going to use the same brand for every product, and it's going to be the cheapest brand. Yep. We really listen to each tube and go, oh, this tube seems to work really well in this circuit with this transformer. And I think that's how the brand has built its reputation.
So when you guys first started out, you were like coming out with stuff like semi-regularly, and it would take you a little bit of time. And right now, it seems that there's stuff coming out all the time. And I wonder if there's some like new stuff here that you could maybe show us that we haven't seen as much before.
Yeah, definitely. You're right about that. When the company started, it was really me as a product developer only. And then I would outsource engineers. I mentioned David Gearin at Cinemag, the owner. He was one of those engineers that would actually help me when I got started, and I was a one-man show. But now we have some inside engineers that are constantly working on new ideas. We've got product developers that are coming up with ideas. I listen to everything. I give it the ear test, but I'm not always involved in the ideas like I used to be.
Yes.
But let me show you a couple things that you may not be aware of. So these are cool. So this is simple. This is a cable.
This is a cable.
When we had the idea to come out with cables, it was somebody here at the office said we should make cables, and I actually was really against that. I was like, I'm going to pull this out. I was like, why would we make cables? Everybody makes cables. Like, there's got to be a story. Like, how can we do it and make it special? Well, I had tested Gotham audio product cables on our tube microphones. So when we developed our first WA-47 tube mic, we tried different 7-pin cables, and the Gotham cable, it made the mic sound better. Less noise, smoother, everything. I was like, wow. I mean, I knew cables mattered, but I'd never heard it like that.
Yeah.
And so I became obsessed with Gotham for all of our tube microphones. And then when the idea came up to make cables, I was like, okay, tell you what, if we use Gotham cabling from Switzerland, then I'm in. Then I think that's cool. So every single one of our cables uses Gotham Swiss cable stock. And these are like quad star shielded, double Royson, really, really well built cables. And it started out with just a few SKUs. So, you know, this is an instrument cable, and we've got XLR cables as well. But then we got into DB25 cables.
Oh, okay.
So we've got these. These are also made out of Gotham. And we've been selling these like hotcakes since they came out. These are also, you know, the same great quality stuff.
Yeah, that's like also like a critical cable to get right. So I see, you know, see the appeal definitely.
And speaking of Gotham too, after we started doing this, we were like, hey, we love this stuff. And there are a lot of people that want it in the US when they're building out a studio or cutting and soldering a snake together. We should carry all this Gotham cable. So look at this over here. It's a bunch of spools of Gotham. And so there's a website. It's GothamAudioUSA.com. And that's a site being ran by us. You can
Oh, look at that.
purchase whatever length or spool of Gotham cable that you need for whatever project.
Oh, that's really cool. So that's kind of like a, you know, a new side quest you guys sort of entered in. That's really cool.
And as we talked about the other day, we are open to brands that have contacted us and said, hey, you're doing a great job selling warm audio. Can we be a part of this? Can we work with you? So here's a brand here. They have these really cool cases named Tiegler. And they make all of their rack gear in Berlin.
Yeah. Really cool. What's this? The unit?
And actually, well, there's nothing labeled on the side. Let's see, here we go.
Oh, there we go.
So that's this product, the cream. And they make like some really cool digitally controlled analog devices.
Oh, yeah.
But that's been a fun thing for us, is to say, hey, like Warm Audio is an awesome brand. Like we're kicking butt, but like there's some other cool products out there.
Yeah.
Why don't we get involved with those guys and help them distribute and move their products in the US?
So is this the first like batch of other brand stuff you distribute from here, or do you already have, like, because you're getting into the distribution time, big time? So like, is there any other stuff around here already? Or?
Yeah, so it's very new for us. The last few months is when we took on Tiegler, when we took on Gotham.
Yep.
A brand that we've had for a couple of years is Rock and Roller, and that's not warehoused here because they take up a lot of space, but they're rolling carts that you can move your gear when you're going to your gig. Like, hey, you pull up to a gig, you've got your guitar amp, your PA, you can put it on this cart and roll it in. That's a product that we sell as well.
I'm gonna need one of those.
I know, yeah.
Like,
I need to get you one.
yeah, please do. I'd be happy to.
But back to your question about warm audio stuff, I'd say pedals is probably one of the things that we've really jumped into heavy. Mm-hmm. This one's pretty cool. It's an 1176 in a pedal. I don't know if have you seen that one yet?
I've played that one.
Oh, okay,
Actually,
awesome. Yeah.
That's a really cool one.
This one's pretty cool too. Have you heard this guy?
I have not, actually.
So it has 3 of the famous tone bender circuits in it, and they're all using germanium transistors.
Oh, that's nice.
And actually, no, sorry, 2 of the circuits are germanium, and the third one's silicon. We did that for fun, give you these different options. But we found a big batch of germanium transistors. This one's been doing really well. So pedals, yeah, if you're into synth stuff, have you seen these yet?
No, I haven't. Ringer Bringer.
Yeah, so this is based on that Moog style pedal.
Yeah.
And this one's been a big hit. We have it in black, but we also came out with a white version.
Yeah. And that's a limited edition, as I said.
Yeah, the white version's limited. So pedals, I'd say pedals is one of them. We're still always doing new microphones, it seems. The latest microphone is the CX24, which is the stereo C24 style mic. Mm-hmm. I should actually show you that one. Okay, so yeah, we have this CX12 mic that has been out for a couple of years now, based on the classic C12. Mm-hmm. So it uses a CKE12 style capsule, which is really similar to the classic C12 capsule, but it's designed for modern manufacturing. So it gets the same frequency response, but without having to be handmade. A lot of the companies that are doing volume capsules, they use this exact type for C12 style. So we've got that capsule. People love that mic. And then, man, this thing's heavy. Ugh. And you guys were, one of you was joking with me saying I need to hit the gym more often. It looks like it. Barely pull that out. Let's see here. But this is the stereo version. So based on the classic AKG C24. And the mic body is drilled out of a solid brass billet. So like a big, just think of like a big piece of brass that's like a cylinder that you could like hit somebody with. And they just drill through it. And it creates really great shielding around the electronics when it's out of brass like that. But it's also just really sturdy and well built that way. Check that out.
That is so huge, and it's so heavy. Like it can double as like a dumbbell, basically. And this actually turns, right?
Yep.
It's a full 180 degrees. So we can go like that. You can go 90. It's really cool. It's really neat.
And I'll show you the inside here. So there's 2 of those made in the USA. Tab Funkin' Work transformers. And the mic runs on a single tube, even though it's 2 channels, because you've got 2 triodes in the tube.
Yep.
And a lot of polystyrene capacitors. So these clear polystyrene capacitors in mics make a big difference, especially the ones that are close to the capsule. So film capacitors are great, like WEMAs, but when they're close to the capsule, they sometimes suppress the high-end frequencies.
Yep.
So having the nice quality polystyrenes are great. This also has carbon resistors, like the original would have had.
Yep. Okay, so we've seen the testing area, we've seen the warehouse, but where do you actually work?
So I work upstairs in an office. Let me show you.
Let's see. So we're in the upstairs area right now, and what can you tell me about this place?
Yeah, so offices up here mainly. When we built this building, there wasn't a plan to have a window here, but the construction workers had to get materials up here.
Yep.
And I'll show you a conference room in a minute with a very long table.
Oh yeah.
We were glad this opening was here. We brought this massive conference room table in through the opening. But once the opening was here, we were like, wow, that's kind of nice.
Yeah,
a window,
totally.
You can look out and see the warehouse. So that's the warehouse we were just in. And then up here is primarily people that process orders. So orders come in via email. We've got our operations manager over here. We've got 3 fulfillment managers that fulfill orders, do the customs paperwork, packing paperwork, all that kind of stuff for the warehouse. And then we also have marketing and sales staff up here. A lot of them are actually out this week. They're headed to the NAMM show.
Yeah.
And but that's mainly it. But let me show you. We've got a kitchenette here. Here's the conference room I was telling you about with the large table. And this table, I mean, it's worth taking a look at for a second because it's a pretty table. And this is out of pecan wood, I believe. And the guy who built it was worried because it's so big and so heavy that how was he going to get it up here? He was worried. So he originally wanted to cut it into like 3 sections, and I was like, no, dude, we're not going to have a table with a big cut in the middle that's like bolted together. So we pushed him a little bit and said, let's make it happen, and it was difficult. It took a lot of people and a forklift getting it through, but now we've got it. It probably is never going to leave this room.
Yeah, I was about to say,
who's going to want to lift it?
You're stuck with it now.
Yeah. Yes, this is my office. Spend a lot of time on the computer. I wish I was spending more time in the studio.
Yeah, I bet.
So I did build a little studio room here that's turned into more of a testing, soldering room. I do some soldering here as well.
Yep.
I currently have a project actually that you might think is kind of cool. It's a little messy right now, but this is an original 1969 Ampex tape recorder.
Wow.
And it's the MM1000 model, so it's a 16 track. And the reason why it looks so empty and ugly is I've taken all these channels out. I've been recapping all the electrolytic capacitors. I've been replacing all of these LEDs, so it had bulbs in here that were all burnt out, and bulbs here that were burnt out. And so actually, I can flip this on here and show you. So these are my nice new yellow amber LEDs. Look good. And then here's see, watch this record light. Look at that LED. It's beautiful.
Wow.
Oops, there we go.
Oh,
So
that's
it's a little
so cool.
squeaky. It needs some oiling and some of that, but I cannot wait to get this bad boy up and running
Oh, I bet.
and put down in the studio. I want to track some drums to it so bad.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, and this particular model is pretty famous. Ampex is known for always overbuilding everything, so apparently the motors just never really die or wear out. You've got, this is a line amplifier, but it's got, remember we were looking at transformers? Yeah. It's got a transformer balanced output on the line amplifier, which is cool. And the Grateful Dead actually used this exact same model for their live recordings in the late 60s and early 70s. And they talk about it in some of their liner notes, how it was this 600-pound tape machine that they had to figure out how to get up elevators and staircases and stuff like that to record. But there were some other real impressive studios that used these. The Wally Heider studio in, I think, San Francisco area, and then you had CBS studios in New York had these as well. So there's a little bit, I'm a big classic rock, classic vinyl guy. I love late 60s, early 70s stuff. And so there's part of me that just wants to record through this so I can feel like I'm recording through the same machine a lot of the legends used.
Yeah.
So, oh, and actually we had Eddie Kramer here doing a master class in our studio about a month ago. And I said, hey, you should come up and see this old tape machine that I have. Yeah. And he comes in and goes, this is the exact same model we used at Electric Ladyland for a while. He's like, I love this model. It sounded great. And I was like, okay, now you're making me want to use it more. Yeah, pretty cool.
That's like, if you've had any doubt that this company's run by a gearhead, this is the thing that you have next to your office.
Well, and I'm doing it too, right? I could take these channels down to my technicians and say, you fix these. But I'm like, no, I want to get my hands dirty. I want to
I get it though.
Do some soldering and get involved again. And a lot of this is pretty messy, but sometimes people, when they come in here, they look on the shelf because they want to see, wait a second, what are you working on next? They think that there's going to be a secret on here, and there are, but they never really know where to look. So this is an actual real Klon, not the Centaur that we made. So this is one of those $5,000 Klons.
Yeah.
So yes, if you would have come up here and seen this on the shelf a while ago, you would have learned that we were working on on that. I'm actually curious because I know you're into heavy music. Mm-hmm. We were coming up with ideas of different paint jobs for the Centavo.
Yeah.
And we had this idea, it's kind of around Halloween and heavy music and stuff. And I'm just curious to see what you think of it. Okay, we never released it. We may not ever release it. Actually, I don't think we are, unless you were like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. Then I might release it.
Well, that's really cool though.
Yeah, I mean, you actually mean that?
No, really, because I think it's so like it just screams that it's really cool. The only thing I might change about it would be the color of the knobs.
Okay.
If that's if that would be a possibility to go about that, then if you made these black, basically,
that could be cool.
I think that could be really cool, and I think people would buy that.
Okay.
Personally, but
I thought it was cool too because we were thinking of like Halloween, you know.
Yeah,
that
no,
type
it
time of
is.
year.
I mean, especially if I'm like a metalhead, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put this on my pedal board. I'm a lot more likely to put this on my pedal board than like a golden kind of look at me. I'm gonna.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
So marketing team, if you're watching this, see, my idea wasn't that bad because he says so.
You
okay?
guys, you may want to do a survey on this before, like, but you know, that's my opinion.
No,
I think it'll
one opinion
work.
we should trust.
So,
We're
like,
gonna do it now.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll see about that.
Yeah. So let's see here. Is there anything else that's interesting? You know, not so much.
Where did you get this thing, by the way?
So bought it from a seller in Nashville. The studio. Actually, I have the original.
Oh wow! Look at that
manual from 1969.
Wow.
And it even has like fold-out schematics in it and stuff too. So like if the schematic is too big to fit on a single page, they've got, you know, things that fold out like this, which is pretty cool. Let's see. Which actually was nice because there's a couple of the capacitors I couldn't find labels on them. And this, I was able to look at the schematic and
It's really cool that they
to replace it with. Yeah, it's called Monument Recording Studio in Nashville. And I hadn't heard of them, but I looked them up and they did have a few kind of cool records that they'd recorded. So
Yeah, I was
they've
about
been
to
around.
I was about to ask like if there's anything that you could already like trace back to being recorded on this machine.
I need to go do that.
Listen to. That'd be
Yeah.
interesting, I think.
Well, and see these side panels here are missing. So the original had like fake wood side panels. I'm gonna get some custom side panels put on there, maybe with the WA logo or something.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah.
But maybe I could put the names of some of the famous records that were recorded on here on those side panels too. You just gave me an idea. Yeah. So
There you go. Well, I gotta definitely come back when you guys get this thing set up. Like, give me a call, and I wanna see this thing in action. It's so cool. So, Bryce, thank you so much once again for inviting us and letting us see everything you guys do in here. It's been a pleasure, to say the least.
absolutely, and thanks for taking the trip all the way out here from Germany.
Absolutely.
And it'll be fun to see you at the NAMM show.
Yes, definitely.
So yeah, great time, loved it. And for all of you that are watching, thank you for spending the time with us, checking out our studio, our warehouse. And if you want to learn more about the products, come to warmaudio.com.
And if you guys want to find out more about Warm Audio, we actually filmed an interview with Bryce where he talked new audio gear, all kinds of things concerning Warm Audio, so you definitely want to check that out. And then we also did a studio tour of the Warm Studios that you guys have set up down there where this machine is going to end up. So that's incredible. You guys definitely, if you're into studio stuff, you want to check that out. And yeah, guess I'll see you guys next time.